Three, two, one. Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel in partnership with sharpbetting.co.uk. Delighted as always to be joined by Chris and Andrew from Boxing Bros UK. Gents, we know it's a big fight when you two are on the channel. It's great to have both of you
Oh,
back. We've just witnessed Chris Eubank Jr. Beat Conor Benn, unanimous decision, fight of the year contender, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Um, a few things to get through, but we'll get into it nice and quickly. Chris, did the right man win? Thoughts? All scorecards were the same, which is interesting. 116, 112. Just give us your thoughts on that first,
um,
please.
let me because let me just I'm just gonna, I can't remember my scorecard. One sec.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I had. 116, 112.
Yeah.
100% the right man won. I just think, yeah, Eubank Jr. just got behind his jab. Then Conor Ben just got predictable,
Mm.
tired, and yeah, definitely the right man won. 100%.
Andrew, would you agree with that? I think I think that I've heard Eddie Hearn complain about scorecards like he likes to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you
Mm.
have it closer, wider? How did you have it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously expected from Eddie Hearn there. Frank Warren, he tends to do similar. You expect that back in his fire. I think the right man absolutely won. Like Chris said, got behind, established that jab early. Just looked the more seasoned, the more schooled in there at times. Give massive credit to Ben. I thought, God, guts from both guys. Coming up two weights. I probably had it a bit. I didn't. I was joking with Chris, and I got caught up in the emotion of it. I probably had it maybe a couple of rounds in it, but
Mm.
he had Eubank hurt early on, didn't he? Hurt wobbled each other, but right man won. Ultimately, the right man won. Yeah.
I think so. I think so. Look, it'd be fascinating to watch the fight back and see the actual
Mm,
scorecards in terms of which judges gave which rounds to which fighter. Andrew,
mm.
I'll stick with you with this whole. It's been kind of a draining 24, 48 hours for people that do things like we do in terms of the ceremonial weigh-in, the weigh-in that was this
Mm.
morning, keeping track of all of it. Obviously, Eubank was weight, he was
Oh,
late, he missed weight, and there was a lot of stuff going on. Um, what would have
mm.
happened tonight if there was no rehydration clause? We saw Eubank, I'm going to say miss weight, but just about miss weight. He pretty much made the weight, but
Yeah.
kind of didn't. And then he had this rehydration weigh-in this morning. If there was no rehydration clause, no
Mm.
second weigh-in this morning, what would have happened tonight?
It's a really good question. Lots of hijinks, weren't there? Moody's scales. What did he weigh this morning? 169. So, he was within the £10 rehydration limit. Had 12 hours to sort of fully rehydrate. And I did call, and I've been sort of saying, and me and Chris are probably going to go on a rant at some stage on our channel about rehydration limits. And I think if there wasn't, I mean, he did look massive in there compared to Ben, which I give Ben massive credit for making it competitive and showed a chin on him. But I think if there wasn't, I think Eubank Jr. probably would have stopped him. Had him rocked in the 12th round at the end there, and I think it would have been probably a more convincing victory ultimately. Um, so yeah, that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, Chris, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts? Andrew's gone for kind of a Eubank stoppage. Do you think Eubank would have got stopped?
100%. Like you seen, like about halfway through the fight, Eubank Jr. and he looked sluggish and he looked weight drained. You could see it. He just started walking through Ben's punches. He was pinging him with a jab, and then he would just fought
Yeah.
this and it was a safer place to be really because instead of being on the outside on his toes, constantly jabbing, he thought this kid can't hurt me, so I'll just stand in front of him, and I've got quicker hands, and he's just laying them tit tap flurries, bam, 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 like stealing the rounds. So I think if he wasn't weight drained, he would have stopped him because when he had him
Yeah.
hurt, he would have just it would have been like it would have been like Liam Cameron the other night, but in like around 7 or 8, about 15 unanswered shots.
Yeah, yeah, no, I do agree with both of you. I think there were a couple of times that Eubank looked like he really hurt Ben at the end, but maybe couldn't capitalize on it just because he was quite tired in there. Fast forwarding, gents, there is a rematch clause. This fight would have made a lot of money for both fighters. I personally think we're going to see a rematch. We might not see a rematch. Ben might move back down in weight. Eubank could fight somebody else, but I think October is the rumored month. Chris, give us your opinion on if there is a rematch, who wins? If there is a rematch, do you think we'll see a rehydration clause? Just thoughts on that, please.
If there's a rematch, no rehydration clause. Like it's got to
Oh,
be no. But
please.
for me, if there isn't, then it's. I don't think Conor Benn should take that fight. Like I think he's
Yep.
if if he couldn't put a dent in a bloody leukemia victim of EUBANK
Oh,
Jr. walking around the ring, he's not going to be able to put a dent in a guy that's going to weigh like 180 pounds.
mm,
Nice. He's not going to be able to do it. And EUBANK Jr. is going to destroy him. That's what I think. So if I was Conor Benn, I wouldn't go down to welterweight because he's had two fights at light middleweight and a fight at middleweight. I
Mm.
think his best bet is fight at light middleweight,
Yeah.
and then he can rehydrate to the weight that he fought at tonight and be strong against other guys who are
mm.
going to be doing the similar thing, you know?
If there is a
Um,
rematch under the same terms, so fight at middleweight, rehydration clause exactly the same. What does Conor Benn win?
Ooh, no.
Okay.
I still say because I think Eubank Jr.'s body will be used to it, and I think he'll beat him again. He's just too small. There's weight classes for a reason, and
Yeah.
if he's not, he just doesn't have the power.
Brilliant. And Andrew, do you agree? What are your thoughts?
Difficult to argue against it, and I'll have to kind of off to try and offer a little bit of a different opinion. So I think look, if it's the same, if there's no rehydration clauses, I mean, I'd absolutely. I mean, it was a pretty close fight anyway. But like we said after your previous question, I think that would be undesirable. Paul Conor Benn's got. I mean, the guys I was watching it, they don't want to see a rematch, which I was quite surprised at because I wouldn't mind seeing it again. But I don't know if Ben's got anything to prove. He's gone up to middleweight, which is no joke, and he's made a really good account of himself. You could tell he was raw. He looked very, especially early on, very kind of a lot of nervous energy, jittery. He's making me sick watching him move. He'd never stop moving. I don't think he's really got anything to prove if you see where I'm going in a rematch. I mean, he really fancies the Barrios fight. He's said that so many times. So, go back down to welter or super welter. I know he couldn't put a dent in Dobson, could he, at super welter, who has got a decent chin. But I think, yeah, I tend to agree. Go back down to welter, super welter. Your his power's going to carry a bit more. Um, I don't think I would be disappointed if we didn't have a rematch. I think that was a great fight, and he can go away with his head held high. Is where I'm coming from on this, Elliot. So yeah, that's my standpoint.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. And look, I think part of it is he wanted to win tonight because of his dad. His
Mm.
dad
Yeah,
didn't get a
yeah.
win over Chris Eubank Sr., and that was why. And fair play to him because some people thought Eubank was gonna iron him out inside a couple of rounds, and that didn't happen. He had some success,
Mm.
and it was a close fight. Just rounding off, gents, I wanted to get both of your opinions on something kind of not related to the fight. What did you both make of Chris Eubank Sr. rocking up? I've got a few couple of
Oh,
things to say about it, but but I'll give both of you the mic. Andrew, we'll start with you. What did you make? The kind of looked like something
oh,
out of WWE, didn't it?
I'm torn. I'm torn. Either you've set the question up well. I think it was. I haven't watched WWE since Stone Cold Steve Austin, mate, Raw era. So I'm well out of. But there was plenty of hijinks then. But look, I love I get caught up in the emotion of it. Chris was able to maintain his emotions and score it. I didn't have a bloody clue of it. I was well away with it. I was up out my chair and also. I did love the emotion of it. I did wonder whether it was. I thought, if they planned this all along, am I overthinking? I tend to overthink stuff, or did they just get on the blower like, "Come on, Dad, get your ass down"? I don't know, but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it for what it was. Chris Eubanks Senior being the typical man he is, soaking it all in, making it about him as he does. And I thought the ring walks and stuff were superb, but it is getting a little bit, dare I say, a bit silly with boxing these days, isn't it? It's getting a blur in the lines between drama and fiction and all the rest of it. So I'm on the fence. I loved it, but I also understand people might find it corny and a bit cheesy. So yeah.
Yeah, there, look, it was quite something. It was, obviously that it's been a viral moment on social media, him getting out that car. It sounded like the stadium
Mm.
erupted. So it is what it is. Chris, what did you make of it? What was going through your head when you saw it?
Initially, I was caught because I like back in the day, I was always a senior fan. I
Mm.
love them both, but I always like Chris Eubank Senior. So I was caught up all in the emotions of it, like, yes, his
Mm.
dad's finally come. But then,
Yeah.
like, because I overthink things as well. And like the stories that you hear about Chris Eubank Senior, like when I think Eddie Hearn wanted him to come to his dad's birthday party as a surprise. And he went, I will, but I want a limousine to pick me up and drop me off. And Eddie Hearn went, fuck off, I'm not doing it. And then they ended up having forking out for it. And it's just like, or he wouldn't come. I
Yeah.
feel like Turkey Al Sheikh just like slipped Chris Eubank Senior like paid for a private car or said, oh, well, if you do this, I'll pay you this because it's gonna do this. And he's a fucking media whore and he loves it. And that's what I really think. Turkey Al Sheikh's gonna, what do you want? Private car, helicopter, whatever. I'll bring you over. Let's do it and boost the views.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's just something that I think probably did, like, could have happened. Like, knowing off Eubank's history of being like a media whore and all that, and the 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 gravity of the situation, how everyone loves the dads and the rivalry. So yeah, that's what I think happened.
Yeah. For me, I made a WWE reference, but I also it kind of it felt a bit like an episode of EastEnders, if you know if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
with like Dirty Den or someone like that coming back, and it wasn't for me because tonight was about Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, and Chris Eubank Sr. is what I think he did a lot of media about a week ago when he was doing that event with Michael Watson and was saying all sorts of things against his son. And I don't know if that was all just he had a change of heart or a lie, but I just think, yeah, as Chris said, it's all about him, and that's what he wants, and that's what a large part of tonight has been. So it wasn't for me, but it was quite exciting. I'll let you go,
Yeah.
both go, gents, but beforehand, I want to know. I want one word answers. Will there be a rematch and who wins? Andrew, will there be a rematch? Who wins?
Yes, Eubank.
Fantastic. Chris, what about you?
I'm gonna say no.
Great.
Don't
I'll
think there's gonna be a rematch now.
see. I'll probably agree with Andrew just 'cause of the
The
money, but
money.
but
The
we'll see what
business.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Boxing Bros UK, Andrew, Chris, thank you so much for
Cheers.
your time, and
But
I'll speak to you both of you again very, very soon.
always a
All right.
pleasure.
Cheers, Elliot. Nice one.